Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today we're going to talk all about tabs. So I like to tab all of my entries in my journaling Bible, and so every time I do any kind of entry, it gets a tab on it, and that's just so I can see on the top, how many entries I have, or so that I can quickly find a past entry that I've done. So these are some of the different tabs that I like to use, and you just have to decide how much dimension. If you want to use paper clips, those are pretty thick, or just paper tabs, it's up to you, but I'm going to show you some of the different ones that I like to use most often in my Bible. So we're going to go ahead and start with a fabric tab, and these are pretty popular in the journaling community. A lot of people like to use these, and I've had questions about how to make them, and it's really actually easy. So I like to use the jumbo size paper clips, and you can find them just about anywhere. I found like the office supply stores have the gold ones and the black ones and the colored ones and things like that. Here I have some fabric, and this is about 9.5 inches. You want it to be right around that for the length that you're going to use. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut a little slit, anywhere from like 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick, and then you're just going to tear that, or you can cut it. If you don't like the messy edge, you can cut it. I like the little bit messier of an edge, so I like to tear it. You can do these thinner, you can do them thicker, you can do 1 layer, you can do 2 layers, you can use ribbon or string. Any of those things will work for this style of paper clip. So I'm going to lay these two pieces wrong side together, and you definitely could do this just 1 layer, that's fine. And then you're going to go ahead and fold it in half, and then you'll take your paper clip and you're going to feed the folded edge in through the paper clip, and then you've got this little hole, and you're going to feed the tails in through that hole, and then you're just going to pull it tight. Super easy. And then you can kind of play around with fluffing it and getting it, the knot just right. The more fabric you use, the thicker that bottom portion is going to be where it's knotted on there, so you just have to kind of play with what you like best. You can use contrasting fabrics, or you can use all the same color, whatever you like. And then I like to fold it in half and then just trim the tails at an angle, and that just gives it a little bit more finished of a look. Just that easy. So I'll just usually sit down with some fabric and make a whole bunch of these all at once, and then keep them in like a little tub. That way they're ready to go. Another way I like to personalize these is with stamps. So you can stamp on the fabric. So here I'm just taking the Books of the Bible stamps from Illustrated Faith. And you want to use STAYS-ON ink. This is a permanent ink, and it seems to work the best when stamping on fabric. And you could do this with, here I'm going to do it with the Book of the Bible. You could do it with small words. Whatever you would like to stamp on here, you can. And you want to make sure you get this stamp inked up pretty well. The intensity of the black is kind of lost when you stamp on the fabric, so it's best to get as much ink on there as you can. And then you want to go ahead and just stamp it down, and I like to hold that in place to let the fabric kind of absorb the ink to increase that intensity. And this is in real time, so you can see about, how long I hold it on there. Sorry, my puppy can hear the cats outside. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that, and that's it. So I'm going to start doing these with the verses on them for different entries. That way I know right from the top what verse it is and things like that. So the next one I'm going to show you is with these 1-inch epoxy dots. You can see I have some from Spare Parts from Hobby Lobby on the left-hand side. The other ones I found on Amazon for way cheaper for a lot more of them. So that's a good way to go about ordering these. And I like to use the smaller paper pads because the print is smaller. And then here I have my 1-inch circle punch. And so you're just going to punch a circle out of your paper. And you could stamp or ink up paper, or just use pattern paper. It's really, whatever your preference is. And then I like to use these Word Buddy stickers from Illustrated Faith. You can also use the Tim Holtz, like the Chit Chat, the little white or black or beige colored stickers that are like these. And I like to add a word to the circle. You want to make sure that it's small enough to stay within the circle of that paper. And then you'll take one of these epoxy dots. They are slightly dimensional. And I'm sure to not touch the back side where it's sticky because it will leave your fingerprints in the sticky part. And then you're just going to apply that down onto the paper, and that is it. So there's a couple different ways. You can glue this just how it is directly into your Bible. I have a couple of examples here. You can see there's one, and then I'm going to show you one other one here at the top there. So what I did is I just used some glossy accents or some multimedia matte, just a really good strong glue, and then glued down the bottom half of it to my page. It does have a little bit of a dimension, so just be aware of that. I don't mind it. The other thing you can do is turn this into a paper clip. So I have a smaller circle punch here. I believe this is like a 1/2 inch probably. Or you could cut out another full 1/2 inch circle. It's up to you. And you're going to use some hot glue. I'm going to use my craft mat just so I don't get glue everywhere. I still end up getting glue everywhere with this paper clip. That's just kind of the nature of these ones with hot glue. And on the bottom of that circle, you're going to put a pretty decent sized little glob of glue. And then you're going to stick your paper clip down into that glue. And then I like to add just a little bit more glue right over the top of it so that paper clip is completely covered. And you'll stick that little circle piece over the top and create kind of a sandwich. And that just makes sure that the paper clip isn't going to slide out, and it kind of gives the backside a finished look so you're not seeing the messiness of the hot glue. And then I'm just picking all the hot glue strings off of here. The joys of hot glue, huh? One of the messiest craft supplies. And then that's it. Now you have this little fun paper clip, and then that way it puts the majority of the dimension up over the top of the page rather than inside your Bible. You just have the dimension of the paper clip inside your Bible. I do like to put washi tape down on the page first before I put a paper clip in, or over the top of them, and that just helps secure it to the page and I don't have to worry about it tearing the page. I haven't really had any problems with pages getting torn. So here are just some tassels. You can find these at Hobby Lobby where they have the little spare parts scrapbooking supplies, and they come not on the paper clip. They come just a tassel with that jump ring, and you just slide that onto the paper clip, and then that's it. That's a really simple, easy paper clip, and I just have a bunch of those in a baggie, and I can just pull them out whenever I want. Here I'm going to show you how to do, it's a lot like the fabric paper clip, but I'm going to use washi tape. So most of us have plenty of washi tape on hand, and so this is just a way to use up your washi supply. You're probably going to want a little more than I pulled off here. You're probably going to want about a foot of washi tape. And then you're going to fold it over on itself so that way it's sticky side to sticky side and there's no sticky exposed. So you'll have the washi print on either side. And then same thing as the fabric washi, you're going to fold this in half. Actually, I'm going to trim the sticky part that's exposed first, just because it makes it easier when I'm creating the tab. So you're going to go ahead and fold it in half. And then you will stick that in through the paper clip just like the fabric washi. And then stick the tails through. And now when you're pulling this tight, you want to really kind of manipulate it and not just pull, because you can tear the washi tape if you're not careful. I've done that with some of the thinner, more translucent washi, seem to want to tear easier. So I had an okay length of washi. It's a little bit easier if it's longer, but it's whatever you're comfortable using. And then again, I'll just go ahead and clean up those edges. And so you can make a lot of these very quickly with all the different washi tapes that you might have in your stash. So the last tabs that I'm going to show you is with the We Are Memory Keepers tab punch. I picked up mine from Hobby Lobby with a coupon, but I will go ahead and link all the products that I've used down in the description bar down below. I like to take that little plastic guard off and use the punch this way so I can see the pattern paper and see where I'm punching out that tab. So you can either do a single layered tab, or I'm going to show you how to do a double layer tab. Now I kind of mess around with this paper a little longer than it's needed because I wanted the flowers pointing up and not upside down. So I go ahead and just kind of cut a strip off and then go ahead and fold it in half, making sure I really crease that top crease there. And then you're going to insert it into the tab punch with the fold at the top, and you want to leave a little bit of a gap between the paper and the top of the tab punch. You might be able to see it in the video, but so what's going to happen is it's going to cut out the tab, but it's not going to create a cut line where the fold line is. And this is a thicker paper, so you have to press pretty hard, but it got through there. And so now you can see I have the tab that you can just slide over the top of a page. And again, I like to use word buddy stickers or stamps and kind of dress up those tabs based on whatever the entry was about. So that is it. These are the most common tabs I like to use. I like to adhere these in with dry adhesive or glossy accents, multimedia matte, anything like that. And that's it. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed, and hit the thumbs up button if you learned something new and enjoyed this type of video. All the products used, if I can find them, I will link them down in the description bar down below, so be sure to check that out. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.